Welcome to the SNAP-Ed Steps to Health Better Food, Better Health program, or in Spanish, Mejores Alimentos para una Mejor Salud. This webinar is one component of the Facilitator training that you will be required to complete on your checklist. We are delighted that you'll be working as a child facilitator under the guidance of the SNAP-Ed Nutrition Educator or the Cooperated Extension Family and Consumer Science Agent. My name is Karen Malloy, and I am a Training Nutrition Associate with the SNAP-Ed Steps to Health team in Raleigh, and I will be hosting this training. You may have already received your Child Facilitator notebook and looked through it. It will be helpful to have it handy during this training. Here is the agenda for the training. I will introduce the program, review the facilitator roles and responsibilities, and go through the program sessions, and review facilitator hiring and payment procedures. Let us begin by giving some background on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program Education, also known as SNAP-Ed. It is a federal nutrition education program targeted toward low-income individuals who either receive SNAP benefits, formerly known as food stamps, or are eligible to receive benefits. The goal of SNAP-Ed is to improve the likelihood that persons eligible for SNAP-Ed will make healthy food choices within a limited budget and choose physically active lifestyles consistent with the current dietary guidelines for Americans and My Plate. North Carolina State University's SNAP-Ed program is called Steps to Health. Steps to Health programs are taught by either SNAP-Ed nutrition educators or FCS agents. There are 6 SNAP-Ed Steps to Health programs, and Better Food, Better Health is just one of them. The Better Food, Better Health program was originally developed for low-income Spanish-speaking Hispanic Latino families in North Carolina. North Carolina has a large Hispanic population with high rates of obesity and diabetes. The program was adapted for low-income Spanish-speaking families to reach a wider audience, as obesity and nutrition-related chronic disease are a concern for many people in the state. The Better Food, Better Health program seeks to address these issues with its nutrition, physical activity, and food resource management curriculum. In the Better Food, Better Health family program, families are divided into 2 groups. One group consists of adults, parents and youth, ages 12 and older, and the other group consists of children, ages 4 to 11. The participants are divided by age because there are 2 separate curricula, one for adult and youth and the other for children. The adult and youth curricula can be delivered in English or in Spanish. The nutrition educator or the FCS agent will be teaching the adult and youth participants if the program is targeted to English-speaking families. Or the agent or nutrition educator will work with a bilingual adult and youth facilitator if the program is being conducted in Spanish. As the child facilitator, you will lead all of the activities with the children in the program in English, whether the other group is English or Spanish speaking. But if you are bilingual and working with Latino Hispanic families, at times you might speak Spanish with some of the children. The program consists of a series of 6 sessions, each lasting approximately 120 minutes. For those of you who are returning facilitators, the number of sessions did increase from 5 to 6. The format is the same for each of the 6 sessions. Everyone meets together at the beginning of each session for the physical activity portion. Then the 2 groups meet separately. While the adult and youth discussions occur, you and the child facilitator will be leading the child activities. Then the 2 groups come together for the food demonstration and taste test at the end of the session. Since both groups come together for the physical activity portion and food demonstrations, you will assist the nutrition educator or the FCS agent during those activities. Here is a table that outlines the 6 program sessions. You may notice that the child activities for each session relate to what the adult and youth are discussing in their curriculum. That is why it'll be important to teach the child session activities in the order that is in the adult and youth curriculum, so all family members are receiving consistent nutrition messages each week. While we expect that the sessions will be enjoyable for participants, the Better Food, Better Health program also has objectives that we would like to see the participants achieve. For the children and youth, we would like to see an increase in their willingness to try more fruits and vegetables and be more active. For adults, we would like to see an improvement in their behavior related to nutrition, physical activity, and resource management. So participants will be filling out evaluation surveys and forms throughout the program. In this next session, we will go into more detail about your role and responsibility as the child facilitator. More than likely, as you are attending this training, you have been selected as a Better Food, Better Health child facilitator. In your role as a child facilitator, you will become a temporary educator, teaching the child curriculum to children ages 4 to 11. In this training, we will go over the main responsibilities that you will have as a child facilitator. In addition, all facilitators will need to meet with either the nutrition educator or the FCS agent under whom they are working to clarify their specific roles and responsibilities during the program. One responsibility that you will have is to prepare for the sessions that you will be delivering. Before each session, thoroughly review the child activities for that lesson. The nutrition educator or the FCS agent may need your help to make reminder calls to participants and pack props or supplies for each session. Just be mindful of your compensation limit of 23 hours. Another main responsibility is to lead the child activities for each session. These session activities are all outlined in your facilitator notebook. The nutrition educator or the FCS agent will always be present on site in the event that you need assistance. After each session, you will also need to provide feedback using the child facilitator feedback form that is found in your notebook. These are some additional things that you may have to do to assist the nutrition educator or the FCS agent with. They are the following: the physical activity portion of the program, the food demonstration, making sure all participant forms are complete, and taking attendance at each session. In this next session, program delivery, we will look at how a facilitator leads the child activities during a session. Now let's go through the Child Better Health, Better Food Facilitator Notebook. If you open the notebook, you will find an introduction. Please read through these couple of pages to get better acquainted with the curriculum. You can pause this recording now if you want to read the instructions. For each session, there is a session guide that outlines the objectives of each session, the supplies needed, and the guide. You'll work under the guidance of the nutrition educator or the FCS agent to gather the supplies that you will need for each session. In your notebook, you have all the child activities outlined for each of the 6 sessions and the feedback forms that you need to complete after each session. For each session, the child activities are laid out. You will be using picture cards, food model paper cutouts, children's books for story time, and a My Garden workout sheet during the sessions. The script will let you know what to do and when. For example, the words on the picture card will be in bold to let you know when you need to show one to the children. The instructions on which food model cards to use are also explained. Song lyrics for sing-alongs are also present. There are educational extenders for the children that extend the learning from the session, such as My Plate placemat, a water bottle, or some stickers. They are part of the child curriculum used to reinforce the messages. At the end of each session, you complete the child facilitator feedback form. In addition, there are some suggested additional activities in the introduction. You can work with the nutrition educator or the FCS agent to obtain some of these books from the free library or download for free more fun activities. You may find this helpful, especially during the first and last session when the other group is spending more time filling out paperwork. Let's go through sessions 1 and 2 to give you an idea of how the child activities during a session work. For session 1, there are 5 activities and 2 optional activities. Can you see the first activity? It's a sing-along welcome song. You have the lyrics and the tune here. You will sing this song to welcome each child. The second activity is story time with the provided book entitled Feast for 10. There were some questions provided for you to promote a discussion with the children. During story time, feel free to have participants identify book images or point to items in photos as you read. The food of the day is corn. Notice that you have a script to work with that has questions to ask the children. You will hold up a fresh ear of corn with the husk, point out vegetables to the children using the My Plate placemat, and use the picture card. The children will be given a garden worksheet. For younger children, you might blow up the sheet to 11 by 14. For each session, the children will draw on the sheet as part of the ongoing activities. For session 1, the children will draw in corn on one of the stalks. So you, the facilitator, will then collect the My Garden worksheets at the end of each session. Activity 5 is Let's Set the Table for Mealtime. At a make-believe dinner party, the children are going to help cook in a make-believe kitchen and set a table with placemats, paper plates, napkins, and spoons. You can control the time for this activity and make it longer if you need to. There are optional activities listed for sessions that you might do if time permits. For session 1, there are 2 optional activities. At the end of the activities, you will review with the children what they learned about the day. In session 1, the children and youth are given My Plate placemats. And if the children or youth participants try a new food, they also get a sticker. Finally, at the end of each session, you will need to complete the child facilitator feedback form for that session. Now let's look at session 2. There are 6 activities and 2 optional activities. Can you see the first activity? The food of the day is strawberries. Again, you have a script to work with that has questions to ask the children. In activity 1, you will hold up a fresh strawberry, point out the fruit to the children using the My Plate placemat, and use the picture cards. Activity 2 is Food of the Day, dairy. You will use picture cards and food model paper cutouts. Activity 3 is hands-on. You will use a provided plastic glove and poke 1 hole in each fingertip of each glove. You will then fill the glove with water and tie at the wrist. Pretend to milk the glove fingers as udders. For activity 4, you will pull out dairy foods from the paper food models and ask the children questions. In the script, it tells you which food model cards to not use, so please be aware of that. Activity 5 is story time, and the book you will use is entitled Gregory the Terrible Eater. For the My Garden ongoing activity, you will hand out the worksheets to the children that you collected from them last week. The younger children will draw in strawberries and the older children will draw a strawberry and a cow. Again, you will collect the My Garden worksheets at the end of the session. There are optional activities listed. For session 2, there are 2 additional activities. You will review with the children what they have learned about the day. In Session 2, all participants will receive water bottles as the educational extender. Again, if children or youth participants tried a new food during the session, they get a sticker. Also, you will have a child facilitator feedback form to complete for Session 2. In this next session, we will go over your facilitator contract and payment. As a facilitator, you are a contractor, not an employee on the payroll. Taxes will not be withheld from your paycheck. Your income will be reported to the IRS as non-employee compensation on Form 1099-miscellaneous. If you have not done so already, you will need to complete an instruction agreement, which is the contract, a W-9 form, if you were not a facilitator previously, a vendor ACH enrollment form to have your payment electronically transferred into your account, and a background check. The nutrition educator and the FCS agent that you will be working with will provide you with these forms, and once completed, will mail them to the SNAP-Ed Steps to Health office for processing. You will also need to complete all of the required facilitator training components in their entirety before you begin. You will be paid at the end of your program. You are guaranteed $15 an hour for up to 23 hours of work for the entire program. Again, you're only guaranteed payment for up to 23 hours. So please be mindful of your time. You'll be paid for completing this training, and this goes towards those 23 hours. With this in mind, you might need to work with your nutrition educator or FCS agent to plan your work schedule. A detailed timesheet will be provided to you where you track your hours for each session, including prep time and actual class. You will also keep track of your program-related mileage using a mileage log. You will be reimbursed at .575 per mile for a maximum of 320 miles or $184. At the end of all 6 sessions, the facilitator detailed timesheet and the mileage log will be sent to the SNAP-Ed Steps to Health office by no later than August 31st, 2017. The nutrition educator or the FCS agent will approve and or sign off on these. This is what the facilitator's detailed timesheet looks like. Notice there is a section to count time before the program begins, such as for training. And for each session, you can break down your time for session preparation and delivery of the sessions. If you are asked to help with follow-up with participants by the nutrition educator or the FCS agent, there is a section to break down that time as well. Also notice that you and the agent will sign this before sending it in. This is what the mileage log looks like. You log your mileage by writing in the trip number, date of travel, the start and end location, and address, and the number of miles you traveled. So to recap, you, the nutrition educator or the FCS agent, will need to send in your completed instruction agreement, a W-9 form if you were not a facilitator previously, your completed vendor ACH enrollment form, and your background check to the SNAP-Ed Steps to Health office before you start working. During the program, you will track your time and mileage. At the end of the program, these forms are signed and sent to SNAP-Ed Steps to Health office no later than August 31st, 2017. If you have any questions, please contact the office. This is the completion of your Better Food, Better Health training for year 17 as a facilitator. To totally complete your training, you are now directed to the mandatory civil rights training also on this page. You will also need to view the poster, which is entitled And Justice for All. Thank you so much for participating in this training, and good luck.